What the hell did you do to my car? The kid's voice cracked so hard on car it sounded like he might break something else, maybe his own pride. I didn't even look up, just took another sip of my coffee, letting the taste linger while the sunrise painted gold stripes across what used to be a $60,000 problem. My hands were clean steady, not a scratch on them, and already you could hear the neighborhood waking up, phones out, voices echoing over the driveways, folks who loved a spectacle as much as they claimed to hate drama. Behind me, that driveway. Yeah, the one Sarah and I poured 8 years ago with our own hands, gleamed perfect in the morning light, not a tire mark to spoil it. Not anymore. Funny how some boundaries you ask nicely to respect, and others, well, sometimes you gotta teach. Drop a comment below if you ever wondered how a carpenter takes things apart, more than just furniture, believe me. Let me back up a sec, because if you'd told me even 2 weeks ago I'd be here, I'd have laughed in your face. But it all started at 6:47 in the morning, like most trouble does early, when only the birds are supposed to be raising hell. I was on my porch, coffee in hand, watching the kind of quiet you pay extra for in suburbia. Then came the sound V10 screaming down the street like someone trying to outrun boredom. Bright yellow, that Lamborghini looking like a warning sign for common sense. It didn't slow at the corner, just ripped straight across my lawn, deep tire marks knifing 15 feet through green. I'd spent years coaxing into perfection. Gone in 3 seconds, engine note, fading away, 2 black streaks across the grass like someone slashed a painting. I stood there, coffee halfway up, feeling the quiet settle back in, but it was a different kind of quiet now, the kind that prickles behind your eyes. The tracks cut across the edge of the driveway. Sarah and I poured together. God, her laughter used to bounce around this house, made the future feel like something solid. Now there was just dirt and torn grass, and a kid who'd decided property lines didn't mean him. I recognized that car, saw it all the time at the Sutton place, parked like a trophy. Breen Sutton, 23, trust fund smile, no sense of consequence, and a mom who ran the HOA like a private monarchy. I gave it an hour, let the steam roll off, tried to be the reasonable man Sarah always said I was. Then I walked down past 3 identical colonials, hedges trimmed ceramic gnomes grinning like they knew the joke, and rang their bell. Breen answered in tank top and basketball shorts, hair, wild eyes, already bored. He blinked at me like I was selling insurance, so I kept my voice level, told him about the tire marks, about the lawn, about how shortcuts have a cost. He shrugged. Dude, it's just grass. It'll grow back. I was in a hurry. That was it. That same old feeling tight in my chest, the one you get when someone returns a cabinet with the joints pulled apart and claims you built it wrong. Before I could find a word sharp enough, Delene Sutton appeared, silk robe, coffee cup with a cutesy quote, the kind of smile that could cut glass. Boys will be boys, Mr. Caldwell. I'm sure it was an accident. She patted his shoulder like he was 10, like I was the one out of line. I thanked her anyway, habit, I guess, and walked back home with that weight you get when people mistake kindness for weakness. Next morning, same time, same place, same car. This time carving new scars over the old ones. I watched from the window, coffee cooling, and thought about boundaries and respect and how some folks only learn through consequence. Day 3, I started documenting phone out, video rolling, catching every rev, every tire spray. Made a whole binder, photos, timestamps, damage, descriptions, measurements. I used to do this for cabinets and kitchen remodels, now for justice. Saturday morning, Breen didn't just cut across. He spun a donut engine, screaming, grass flying, making a show out of it. That was the switch for me, anger gone, replaced with something colder, more methodical. I wrote a letter, certified mail, signature required, laid out dates, damages, photos, everything. Sent it to the Suttons myself. The post office clerk raised an eyebrow at the address. Seems I wasn't the first. A couple days later, signature confirmed, and I waited. Next morning, there he was, roaring across the lawn, waving his phone, filming his own lawlessness. I called the HOA, left a message. Got a call back from Deline herself. Let's discuss this in person. Mr. Caldwell for the good of the community. Meeting Thursday night, folding chairs, room full of people who showed up out of habit, not hope. DeLine ran the meeting like a pro, clipped through the agenda, then let me speak, photos, videos, the whole story laid out. A few neighbors nodded, one even cheered, but DeLine just smiled tighter. Our rules don't actually prohibit crossing lawns. Maybe install a fence if you're so worried. Every eye turned to me like I was the problem for caring about my own property. That night, DeLine posted in the neighborhood group, "Some people just need to relax. Community harmony matters more than grass." The comments piled on, agreeing. I stared at the phone, felt something shift. Not anger, resolve. Some rules you have to write yourself. Saturday morning, 6:52. Breen spun another donut, this time laying on the horn for 3 long blasts. The neighborhood was awake now. I called the police, trespassing, property damage, documented pattern. Officer Mercer showed up, polite young, took statements, watched the videos, but shook his head. Without catching him in the act or a confession, it's civil, not criminal. Install cameras, maybe file a suit. So I did. 4 cameras, high-def, motion-activated cloud backup. 2 days later, caught everything, face license, the works. Called Mercer again. He watched, nodded, but it was the same answer. Civil, not criminal. Maybe talk to a lawyer. I did found an old-timer from the HOA roster. Showed him everything. You've documented everything. You've got reasonable grounds. If you want, you can disable the car, reversible, documented, not damaged. That's your legal right. But you might end up in court. So I did my homework. Posted the signs, sent the final certified warning, waited. Breen drove through one last time, smiling, recording, daring me. That night I made my plan, parts, tools, methodical steps. Waited until the car was parked on the street, crept out in the dark with my rolling cart. 4 wheels, both seats, bumpers, mirrors, exhaust, tips off, and arranged on the Sutton's lawn like a museum exhibit. A laminated card with the law, my name, and my offer return of all parts as soon as the trespassing stopped. Dawn broke with a scream. "What the hell did you do to my car?" Breen in boxers and a t-shirt, running wild, pointing at the skeleton of a Lamborghini on the street. I sipped my coffee, stayed calm, told him about the certified letter, the legal doctrine, the video evidence. "Call the police," I said. "I'd appreciate it." DeLine came out screaming threats, lawsuits, vengeance, but I stood my ground. The police arrived first. Mercer, then a grizzled sergeant. They checked my binder, photos, documentation, everything in order. Neighbors gathered, Ramona backing me up, others finally finding their voices. Sergeant told DeLine, "Your son trespassed. Mr. Caldwell used reasonable, reversible action, documented every step. This is self-help remedy, not theft. Next time you'll be the one facing charges." Breen went silent, DeLine deflated. By noon, the art installation of car parts was viral, photos and videos spreading like wildfire. Comments cheered for justice, served cold for the neighborhood David, who took on Goliath with a socket wrench. The humiliation was public, but so was the lesson: consequences matter. The HOA called an emergency session. Neighbors came out in droves, stories spilled about favoritism, fines for some, forgiveness for others. By the end of the night, DeLine was out, removed from her throne. Power, it turned out, is only as strong as the silence you can enforce. Once people spoke up, she was finished. They tried to sue me, of course. 50 grand for emotional distress and loss of vehicle use. My lawyer, the old-timer, laughed when he saw my files. "We'll win this in our sleep," he promised. The suit was dismissed. Prejudice attached the judge, even warning them about frivolous claims. They tried one last time to talk, came to a coffee shop, apologized, her voice small, his eyes finally seeing the world. I accepted, because that's how you end something, not with bitterness, but with boundaries clear and respected. And the neighborhood healed. The lawn took time, scars slowly fading, but it came back. Ramona brought pie, said I'd saved the community. The Lamborghini got sold, replaced by something quieter. The new HOA chair was fair. People started waving again. Justice isn't revenge. It's boundaries, respect, and the willingness to stand up when it counts. Some lessons you teach with kindness, some with words, and some with a hydraulic jack at 2 in the morning. So let me ask you, what would you have done? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me your stories. Would you stand your ground or would you let it slide? Because sometimes doing the right thing means being the only one willing to get your hands dirty and making damn sure the mark you leave is cleaner than what you started with. If you've ever had to fight for your boundary or if you think I went too far, tell me in the comments. And if you believe justice still matters, even in the small things, hit that like, share your story. And let's remind folks that respect isn't optional, it's earned.